everyone. My name is Ashton and I'm just trying to get it together. So in today's video, we're gonna be doing a little get ready with me. I guess if I were a real YouTuber, I would say chit chat, get ready with me. But we're gonna be doing a little get ready with me, slapping some stuff on my face while talking about Star Wars. Yes! So excited, so excited. So basically today what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna give you a bare bones idea or structure of the movies and the way that one would think that you should watch the movies versus what I think and how you should watch the movies. So if you're interested, stick around. But do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like these kinds of videos or any kind of videos that you see listed on my channel. Let's go ahead and get started. My skin is like, I had to take off my today makeup. It was like the no makeup, whatever. But first we're gonna put on this lip scrub because, oh my gosh, I'm dying. It's the Revlon Kiss. I actually did my drugstore lip kit a little bit ago and I dug this sucker out. Hope it's not expired. Gonna moisturize the face with a little It Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream because my face, oh my gosh, is so dry, honey. So dry. I had to take off my makeup from today and it's just dry. Anyway, so let's get started. So what's interesting is some people I find that have not seen any of the Star Wars movies kind of approach it with caution because they see so many movies, first of all, about space that they might not find interesting, but there's a lot of drama. They might not find it very interesting at first glance. They might hear the beep, 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 boop, beep, boop from R2-D2 and think, what is this nonsense? And see a lot of fighting and think that it's just not their thing. It's totally a lot of people's thing, trust me. Not just the nerdiest of nerds, ladies and gents. I'm gonna use my little jade roller. I think this is a jade roller. It's probably just something that's the cheapest thing from TJ Maxx. Anyway, oh my God, it's so cold. I love it so much. Anyway, so some people off the bat don't really think that Star Wars is their thing. So I kind of understand that because I really wasn't raised on Star Wars. No one in my family watched it. And so I wasn't, it just feels so good. Anyway, focus, I gotta focus, stick with it. So I kind of get it why people are maybe a little turned off from the beginning. I understand that. Another thing that might scare people from approaching Star Wars is that the movies are released out of order. You had movies in the 70s and 80s that were released, but they are not chronologically the first that took place. So we're gonna talk about that and maybe what order I think that you should watch them in because I don't think that chronological is best. I've done chronological order before, but of course I'd watch them in a different order before. It's not cold anymore. I'm gonna use what I got on BoxyCharm last month, the POREfessional from Benefit. So I think some people may see the Star Wars films as being a little overwhelming because first of all, there are so many of them. It's kind of like me with Doctor Who. I think that it's just so overwhelming with all the I think they're called series maybe? I'm pretty sure. I just think it's so overwhelming and I'm like, do I really want to invest all that time? Some people feel that way about Star Wars. You shouldn't because, oh my gosh, it's just simply amazing. But anyways, there are a lot of things that I do think that keep people from watching Star Wars, but it is truly something that I believe if watched in the correct order, I believe that anybody can get into. It doesn't matter who you are. I believe so. I realized I applied way too much product on the other side of my face because I was talking about Star Wars and, you know, here we are. I've got way too much of all these products on my face. I don't know what that's gonna accomplish. Chapsticking it up. Okay, we're gonna take my dampened EcoTools beauty blender version of it. I think it's really good. I like it. It's really nice and squishy, and it's doing great. I got it on sale from Ulta. And then we're taking the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I love it. In 112 Natural Ivory. I love it. I wish this had pump. I really do. I know like 8 million people have said that, but I'm one of those 8 million people. Good Lord, that may be way too much. I've just done too much of everything today, so whatever. Okay, so we're just gonna keep it to the movies for this one. We're not gonna include different maybe TV specials or different TV series. So, besides the anthology films, which we'll talk about in just a minute, the Star Wars films are divided into 3 trilogies. You have the prequels, you have the originals, and you have the sequels. The originals came out first. Those were in the 70s and the 80s. That was episodes 4, 5, and 6. We have A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Those are by far the most well-received of the entire franchise of everything. Like everybody who's a Star Wars fan, those are always their favorite. Like, unless you're maybe someone who grew up around the time of the prequels, I could see that maybe. But for the most part, people do love the originals the most. Then you have the prequels, which came out. The prequels, gosh, they got so much hate, and they still do to this day. And in other videos, I'm gonna talk about why I think that is, was it warranted, and what do I think about each of them. You have there, they go back, see from the originals, you had episodes 4, 5, and 6. The prequels, they are prequels. They are prequels to the original trilogy, so they go back. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And then episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I have taken 13 minutes, and all I have on is my foundation. Sidetrack for a second. I got a new concealer. It's the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer. No, this isn't a new one, but it's new to me. So we're gonna see how it goes. I don't really know if it's my shade, but again, we're gonna see how it goes. Back to the movies. And so those were pretty poorly received for the most part. I put fair. Is this fair? I ordered fair. Not much comes out on the doe foot applicator. Maybe there was a reason this was $3 on Amazon. I don't know. I don't need to be so judgy. God, my skin is just greasy. Greasy. I put so much product underneath. So the prequels came out from 1999 to 2005. So really in the grand scheme of things, that's not from that long ago. So a lot of people really my age grew up on those. So some people my age are like, I love those movies. I grew up on them. Some people that were alive for the original trilogy and lived for the original trilogy are like, that was awful. All 3 of them, maybe 2 of them. Some people are, they're okay with one of them, whatever have you. But there's a lot of criticism about the prequels. People make fun of the prequels. But there's a lot of criticism there, and it's open to interpretation. Another story for another video. Dab on a little more, maybe. Whoa! This little girl is creasy. Oof. Good Lord. Ain't doing a whole lot for my under eyes. Let's set it and forget it, if we can, with some Maybelline Fit Me. powder, I think it looks better. It's like a light coverage concealer, medium at best. Okay, so you have a lull of Star Wars movies from 2005 till 2015, and you have the sequel trilogy. So you had the originals in the 70s and 80s, you had the prequels in the 90s and the early 2000s, and then you have the sequels. Now the sequel trilogy goes from 2015 to 2019. These consist of Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. And these, there have been a lot of mixed reviews. Some people feel that they were good. Some people really liked Episode 7. I personally, but I'll get into my review in another video if you would like. If you wouldn't, whatever, I'm doing it anyway. All right, I'm gonna be using the Physicians Formula Butter Collection palette. This thing is beat up, honey. Like, this was from like 2 Christmases ago. I love it. I have dug into this thing. It brightens my day. Every time I use it, I'm going into the butter blush to do a little bronzer, honey. I can never go wrong with a butter bronzer. Okay, so everything that happens in episodes 7, 8, and 9, this is meant to take place after episodes 4, 5, and 6. So everything was kind of released out of order, and so obviously people would be a little confused by that unless they were pretty well versed on everything within the Star Wars franchise. Now what's interesting is even from episodes 1 through 9, those are released obviously out of order. You also have what are called the Anthology Films. These are kind of put like, they're released sort of randomly. And what's interesting is you have right now 2 of those, and there's supposed to be more in the making, and one of them has to do with another one that we're gonna talk about. But right now you have Solo, a Star Wars story, and then you have Rogue One, a Star Wars story. One that was received with widely positive reviews, and the other one that was received with mixed reviews. You had a star-studded cast with Solo. With Rogue One, it was not so much a star-studded cast, but everything that was done in the movie was just excellent. But again, my review of these movies is in another video, honey. Yes. This concealer is so creasy. I'm sorry, but I'm very picky with my under eye powder, and if you are creasing with Maybelline Fit Me, that's on you, honey. That ain't on Maybelline Fit Me. Nothing is on Maybelline Fit Me. Everything Maybelline Fit Me is amazing. Even their pressed powder, which I'm about to use to fix it. Talking and doing some of this stuff, like carving out your contour, and like some of this stuff and talking, I just can't do it. So I'm sorry. I'm working on it. I'm trying. I'm new. Forgive me. All right. We're gonna go in with the blush from this little palette because Physicians Formula blush, just like almost everything else they do, is amazing. Not sponsored, just love it. So anyway, now it's time to get into the correct way. Not the correct way, because just because it's the way I do it doesn't mean it's the right way. It just means that it's the way I do it. Y'all know I do a little dash of blush here and there. I'm actually gonna branch out of this palette right here, and I'm gonna use my Revlon SkinLights. Oh my gosh, obsessed. Not sponsored either, but I'm just legitimately obsessed with this highlight. So obviously you could start watching the Star Wars movies chronologically. You could. Do I recommend it? No, because I'm sorry. Oh, I may have went a little ham on that. You know what? Oh, good Lord, that bronzer looks like doo-doo. Not the bronzer, my application, because I'm too busy chit-chatting, which is like a chit-chat. Get ready with me. Let me brush this off. That flappy cheek. Look at that. Love it. Anyway, I've always had chipmunk cheeks. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Anyway, I don't recommend it, because if you start out watching episode 1, you're probably not going to watch the entire saga, because episode 1, except for the pod races are pretty cool. And you'll know what I mean. It's so cool. It's how Anakin like really becomes, I don't want to say famous, but people know his name because he's a very successful racer. And besides the pod races, episode 1 to me is kind of a dud. And to a lot of people, they really were just not a fan of episode 1. And episode 2. We'll get to that later. So which I think episode 2 is worse than episode 1, but that's just me. No, it's not just me, it's a lot of people. I need to not say it's just me, because it's a lot of people do not like episode 1 and episode 2. Episode 3, people do tend to like it better because it is a better movie. But the thing is, my point is that if you start out with episode 1 and 2, you're gonna think, ugh, why am I watching this? You might watch it and you might love it. But you know, probably won't. Just probably won't. That is my opinion, ladies and gents. Ooh, a little dash of highlight under there. Just do a little touch of something. All right, I'm really not sure what this actually looks like. Let me check. That's too far away, I can't see that. Not bad. I always think whenever my makeup looks like, maybe good, maybe bad, I always think, you know what, whenever I pull my hair down and I have my bangs in my way, it won't matter. But like, since my hair hasn't been done, my bangs are like down to here. So it's like, I don't have bangs to cover this up. Okay, gonna do my brows. I've been using this LA Girl Brow Bestie. Yep. I think it is a pretty much dupe, in my opinion, for the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow definer. I think the brow definer may be a little easier to work with, but anyway, more thoughts on that in a later video. Why am I trying to put this on there like a pencil? It doesn't work like that. Anyway. So instead of watching them well, let's discuss what chronological order means. So obviously you would think, oh, episodes 1 through 9. Yes, but you also have to throw the anthology films in there. It would be episodes 1 through 3, and then you would put Solo, which focuses on Han Solo, and then Rogue One, because Rogue One is whenever they're trying to get, well, first of all, it's like whenever they're developing the Death Star, and whenever that happens, they figure out that Galen Erso, okay, spoiler alert, they figure out that Galen Erso had put a fatal flaw in the Death Star, and they're trying to get the plans to the Alliance. So there's that. And it just immediately coincides with episode 4 because at the end, there's this ridiculously amazing Darth Vader scene where he gets aboard the ship, the Alliance ship, and he tries to get the plans, but the plans are given to the Alliance from the people who rescued it from Scarif, which is the second half roughly of Rogue One. And then you see what's really cool about Rogue One is they had to use these body doubles with this cool engineering, because some people had passed away, different characters, like the character Grand Moff Tarkin. He was from episode 4. He had passed away, and so they had to have him in the movie, but he had passed away. So they had done some sort of facial whatever and put it over someone who looked a lot like him. So they did that in the movie for him, and they did that for Leia at the end, and it directly lines up with episode 4. It's so cool. It's the legit coolest. I think it's one of the cooler transitions in a movie. And that Darth Vader end scene from that movie, you need to go watch it if you haven't watched Rogue One. It is so good. I was excited about it, but I was blown away with how good it was. So anyway, you would go episode 1, 2, 3, Solo, A Star Wars Story. You would watch Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Then you would watch 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 if you were watching it chronologically, which I do not recommend. 10 out of 10 do not recommend. It just, no. If you want to enjoy Star Wars, don't watch it that way. You're not, I don't think that someone would come out of it just enjoying it, because I think the best ones are the original. Okay, so this may be controversial, but my way, I think, that you should watch it is 100% out of order. 100%. You should start with episode 4, A New Hope, where the saga began, 1977. That's where you should watch. From the beginning, you can see where they started, and you can even see the very last one that I'm gonna recommend is episode 9, the last one they released. You can see where they started whenever you start watching, and then at the end where they stop. So you start with episode 4, then you go to episode 5 and episode 6. You get the originals, you watch them, you freak out, you love them, right? Right? Then you go to the prequels. Then you start watching episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. That would be ideal, because you can then, yes, I'm putting on a lot of this. This is my Almay brow styler. It basically just keeps your brows in place, because I do this a lot, and oh, here we go. My brows move all the time. So you could do 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, and 3. And by then you're either really into the series, or you think, oh, it's not for me. If you're not into the series after watching the originals 4, 5, and 6, okay, may not be your thing. Okay, you're wrong, but it may not be your thing. So after 4, 5, and 6, 4, 5, and 6, you watch 1, 2, and 3. So you watch the originals, the prequels, then I think you should watch the Anthology Films, what's in between. So you would start with Solo, because that's the next one that comes up. Then Rogue One, that's the next one. And this is where it gets a little hairy. This is where it kind of skips, because after Rogue One, that's where you would chronologically watch 4, 5, and 6, but you've already seen them. But to keep your interest, you had started with 4, 5, and 6. So in this my perfect way, you would watch 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Then you would watch Solo, Rogue One, and then the sequels, 7, 8, 9. Because to me, they're newer. You can see where the franchise has come after all these years. And you could see how pretty legit they were. And you can see how some of it has come to a close. I mean, it's obviously not a close because there are more and more films coming out. They have released information there. Oh, that was Maybelline. Milani Make It Last. Okay, so for my eye look today, I'm gonna use the Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on, and yeah. Okay, that was an ordeal. The palette is wonderful. I'm just ridiculous today and can't figure out how to do things. All right, so we're gonna be using the Believe Beauty mascara. It's hard to see. All right, that was also an ordeal. I really don't know how I feel about this. It's kind of hard to work with. It's the Believe Beauty Extended Lash Lengthening Mascara. And last but certainly not least, I'm gonna be using a new lipstick. It is another Maybelline lipstick. It's their 530 Hot Sand and it's matte. It's one that I've heard Laura Lee say is like the bee's knees for like the past years. I'm sorry, because of the Jacqueline thing, I inspect every new lipstick. That color is not for me. Maybe it look good on top of something. It's not the lipstick, it's just the color. Really pale lipsticks do not look good on me. But let's try the Maybelline Truffle Tease. This one, it looks pretty pale, but it's not that pale. Yeah, this is about as pale as I like to get. And that's not pale. All right, everyone, that is the look. It was a long time coming. Thank you for hanging in there with me while I was talking about some Star Wars. Yes, I have notes. Yeah, it's like the best series ever. But I had to make some notes because I knew that once I started talking about something and putting on makeup, that I would kind of forget what I was doing, and I wanted to make every point that I wanted to make. If you like these kind of videos, make sure that you let me know down below. If you have questions about Star Wars, if you hate this video, just let me know. Send me a dislike, whatever you want to do. But like, let me know, because I think I love this kind of stuff. Like, I love chit-chatting about this because this was like one of the original concepts of my channel. Put on makeup and talk about things I'm interested in. Like, that was like one of the original concepts. And to review beauty products because, hello, I love stuff like that, to be honest. But if you like these kinds of videos, let me know. But make sure you also like and subscribe while you comment. If you hate these videos, I'm sorry. Thanks for sticking in there. And that's it for today. See y'all next time.